apostles. And last of all, he appeared to me also as to one abnormally born. For I am the least of the apostles, and do not even deserve to be called an apostle, because I persecuted the church of God. But by the grace of God, I am what I am. And by his grace to me, and his grace to me was not without effect. No, I worked harder than all of them. Yet not I, but the grace of God that was with me. This is the gospel of the Lord. Well, the year has finally arrived, 2022. I guess for different people, for different reasons, different people have different reasons to see this as a big year. I don't know, maybe for you it's nothing special. But for a lot of people, there's something really important happening this year. For some of those people, 2022 means that something that was 10 years in the coming, the long wait, it's finally over. Titanic 2 is scheduled to launch this year. Have you heard about this? Nobody's heard about this? You've heard nothing about this? It might actually turn out to be a big nothing, but if this is real and if everything goes according to schedule, there is a modernized replica of the Titanic that's supposed to launch this year. It actually goes, like I said, some people have really been excited about this, probably mostly fans of the movie, I guess, or just, I don't know, history buffs, or who knows. But it goes back to 2012, when an Australian billionaire named Clive Palmer announced that he was going to do this. He was going to just put a bunch of his fortune into planning and building and launching this. The plan is that it's supposed to look pretty much like the original Titanic, but it's supposed to be updated, in all the important ways, modern bathrooms and whatever, hopefully more lifeboats, that kind of thing. The plan is that it's actually also supposed to follow the exact same planned itinerary. I mean planned itinerary, not the actual one, but the planned itinerary of the original Titanic. So maiden voyage starting in Southampton, England, and going to New York, and I think a round trip heading back to England then. That's interesting, maybe sort of exciting, I guess, but doesn't it kind of raise a question in your mind? At least the question it raises in my mind is, who's going to buy that ticket? You know what I mean? I'm not superstitious, at least maybe I'm a little superstitious, but still, I mean, what kind of person buys a ticket for the very next, voyage of the redo of the Titanic? I don't know. There's something a little weird about that. Wouldn't you? I don't know. If it was me, I'd kind of maybe wait and see for it to do at least one round trip before I boarded, just to kind of see what happens. Because why did that first one sink? You could talk about all kinds of things that went wrong, but at the root of it, it really came down to overconfidence. Like, of course, nothing's going to go wrong. That was the hype about this super ship, right? It was the unsinkable Titanic, and so people treated it like it was unsinkable. They were negligent. They didn't plan well for any disasters or mishaps that could have happened. And of course, we know what happened. It was sinkable. But it all came back to really overconfidence, gross overconfidence, gross, what's the word? Hubris, just human pride. Just assuming we can do anything we set out to do. And it didn't work out that way. But that's a common attitude this time of year, isn't it? You know what I'm talking about? This time of year, as we launch 2022, really, whenever we launch a new year, there's a contingent of people. You probably know some of these people. Maybe you are one of these people who are like, yeah, this year, this is going to be the year. This is going to be the year when things change. This is going to be the year when I get my act together, you know? When the things that I've just, haven't really been able to sort of get a handle on, this is the year I'm going to do it. There's brimming with confidence. It's going to go well this year. I'm going to do well this year. Better than ever. And who knows what they have in mind? A lot of people, it's exercise, right? I'm going to exercise more, or I'm going to eat a little less, or I'm going to sleep more, drink less, the whole litany. You've probably had some of these lists yourselves at some point. I'm going to guess. I have. And good for them, right? I mean, there's nothing wrong with deciding that you're going to do something that's good for you, right? We call these resolutions. There's nothing wrong with a resolution, right? But more to our point today, there are other kinds of resolutions. And I've got to say, people who just blow this whole thing off, like there's no point in ever making a resolution. Aren't there some things we should resolve to do? Like listen more, like personally for me, listen more and talk less. I need to do that. Love more, just be a more loving person and a less judgy person. I need to do that. Read the Bible more and just worry less about all the things that are out of my control in this world. Well, really trust God more and worry less. These kinds of things, these are good things, right? These are things we want to do. Now, there are a lot of people at the outset of this year who are saying, I can do this. I will do this year. It's going to be different. I got a new attitude. And is that how you're starting off this voyage? Known as 2022? I'm going to do this because I can do this. Maybe it is. Or maybe it's not. Because there's a whole other contingent of people who have another extremely common attitude this year that I hear people echoing this a lot. And it's really just the opposite. It's like, why even try? Why? Because I know myself. I know what's going to happen. Every time I make big plans to do better, I get my hopes up. And the same thing always happens. I get this big list of plans, get myself all psyched up in January. By the middle of February, all my big plans, it's like they've run straight into the hard reality of who I really am just all the time, every year, year after year after year after year. And they smash and they sink just like they've always done. Just like those super confident people on the Titanic who thought nothing could go wrong, hit the cold, hard reality of that iceberg. And so I'm not going to make that mistake. Count me out. I may not go anywhere. I may not have a plan to get anywhere. But it's better than jumping on that ship of fools and just